I gotta say all that?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Marcus Henderson, a.k.a. Wally. You last heard me in A Little Street, A Little Romance, and A Little Deception. I just got out of San Quentin State Prison. I'm happy. I'm just overjoyed right now. The following episode of Ear Hustle contains language that may not be for all listeners. Discretion is advised.
I set it on the counter and I just turned my back and I kind of like stood there for a minute, and it says like 2 minutes, but I turned around in probably like 30 seconds and there were 2 lines.
Were you hoping for the 2 lines?
I don't know what I was hoping for. I definitely was hoping that this baby would help me get my shit together.
Mm-hmm. Then you walk out of the bathroom with the stick.
With the stick in I told everybody in 7-Eleven, guys, I'm pregnant. Hey, everybody, I'm pregnant. They're like, all right, congratulations.
So what did you do with the test?
I held it in my hand.
How long did you keep it?
I probably still have it at home. I probably still have it in the drawer at home, which sounds disgusting, but that's how memories are made.
This is Leisha. When we met her, she was incarcerated at the California Institution for Women, or CIW. And we'd come to talk to her about her last memory before coming to prison.
And Earlonne, does it seem to you like this whole season has been about memories? I mean, it's kind of funny.
I guess that's kind of been the thread.
Yeah, and I think we're not quite done pulling it yet. So that's what we're up to today.
Indeed.
I'm Nigel Poor.
And I'm Earlonne Woods, and this is Ear Hustle from PRX's Radiotopia.
I'm from Fresno, California, born and raised. I did nursing for a little while. I, committed crimes for a little while too. So
Which one was more profitable?
Nursing. Should have stuck with that.
So right now we're working, as Earlonne said, a story about last memories, but the idea is the last memory before you came to prison. And we've done this episode before with dudes, and so we wanted to do it at a women's prison. So the idea is you're going to tell us about your last memory. We are going to go to the place where that memory happened, and then we're going to come back and tell you what we found there.
So I'm smiling because my last memory before I came to prison was finding out I was pregnant. The day I found out I was pregnant, I had on some leggings, some black leggings, some Nikes, and I remember I packed a pack of cigarettes and I opened them and I gagged, and I was like, whoa, what the heck just happened right now? And I was like, I feel kind of nauseous. My significant other at the time was using fentanyl, was a fentanyl addict. Not my style, I don't do that. So I was like more looking out for him, trying to take care of him, trying to make sure he's okay. And it just never occurred to me that I would even possibly get pregnant or be with child at all whatsoever. And I remember going into the 7-Eleven. I was going to the 7-Eleven and I bought a pregnancy test. And they actually don't let people use the restroom. But I remember going to that 7-Eleven pretty often. And the guy was like, and I'm like, I know. But, and I showed him the test like, come on. And he's like, all right. And I went in there and the bathroom was a little dirty, some paper towels on the ground. And I remember leaning over the sink, splashing my face with a little water. I kind of like just looked around like, this moment is going to change my life forever.
I got a very important question.
Go.
Yes.
Did you sit or hover?
I hovered.
Yeah, me too.
I never sit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very hard time, like even in my cell, like I like to hover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that we're a rare breed?
Yeah.
I've been asking people.
I could imagine.
Single cell or were there stalls?
It was a single cell.
Y'all just fucked me up with this single cell shit.
Did I say single cell?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I meant single. Well, you know what I meant.
Yes.
When Leisha remembered this day at 7-Eleven, she also remembered that there was someone else that was really important to this story, and it was the guy who worked there, the one who let her use the bathroom.
I do remember he's been there for a really, really long time. He's a tall, white guy, and he always I think he has dreadlocks, actually. I was going to say he had braids, but I think he has dreadlocks.
What's the address of the 7-Eleven? Do you know?
It is
or the corner, at least. So
it's on McKinley and Fresno Street in Fresno, California. This was in, let me see, 22. It's 20. Yeah.
So it's only 2 years ago.
Yeah. He might still be there.
So we're getting off on the McKinley exit.
Okay, Erlen, what are we about to do?
We're about to go to 7-Eleven.
Are you getting a slushie?
Too much sugar in a slushie,
Damn.
Nigel. What is the mission here? What are we trying to go do?
Okay, so instead of going to 7-Eleven to get an icy for you, we are driving all the way to Fresno to try to track down a story for Leisha.
Yes.
Her last memory. Do you remember what her last memory was?
Yes, her last memory was being in a 7-Eleven bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the chances we walk in and see a tall dude with dreadlocks?
I'm going to say 30% chance.
30? That's a lot.
That's a lot. What do you think, E?
I got $20 in my pocket. And we go in here and we find this dude. I'm playing a lottery right then and there. Because we're guesstimating that this is not an off day. We're guesstimating that he still worked there, and we're guesstimating we're going on his shift. And then if we walk up in that joint and he behind the cash register, I'm just gonna pull my money out of my pocket and just be like, hey, let me get some quick pics.
It says it's in 700 feet. This isn't a residential neighborhood. I guess there's some houses over there.
Barren.
And I wonder why she would come to this 7-Eleven. It should be right after these lights. There's a 7-Eleven.
What?
Green and red. 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Okay, we just parked. So, okay, we're going to walk in.
Ooh, they got the big gulps. They got all the sugary stuff I wish I could eat. Hello, how you doing? Doing a feel-good story. So I have a good question for you when you're done. There was a guy in there. He seemed like a manager. He was a middle-aged, maybe Middle Easterner dude.
Right. And I mean, we didn't know who else worked there, but this guy was clearly not the one Leisha had met.
Not at all. But we told him Leisha's story anyway.
She came in here and spoke to a man who worked here, who she described as a middle-aged white guy with dreadlocks. We asked if anyone who worked at 7-Eleven might fit that description.
What?
A middle-aged white guy with dreadlocks.
And he was like,
So what you
I'm
told
here
me?
14 years. I never saw this.
No tall guy with locks, like locks in his hair?
He was pretty emphatic. Nope. And when I mentioned that Leisha had been allowed to use the bathroom in there, the guy let her use the bathroom.
If she come in daytime, there's no way.
There's no way.
Well, that was a buzz. But we didn't give up that easy.
Of course we didn't. I mean, we knew this was going to be an adventure. Is there another 7-Eleven near here?
One on Palm and McKinley.
Oh, maybe we'll try that one. Do you think they'll be as nice as you were?
I'm not a nice.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh my God, look at my seat. Holy shit. There's food all over it. Okay, that was entertaining, but well, she did say McKinley, but if there's another one on McKinley.
Yeah. We drive, I don't know, maybe a mile down McKinley.
Yeah, it wasn't that far. All right, here's 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
7-Eleven right across from the high school.
So this one might be the one we walk in to see a guy with dreads.
I hope so.
All right, what does the lottery say? 34 million and 16 million.
Okay, we're at the second 7-Eleven.
And when we walk into this place, of course they're gonna look at us crazy.
Yeah.
But let's see.
It's always a little uncomfortable walking into a situation like this. Earlonne, we have our microphones out.
It makes an impression, we got all this equipment, cords everywhere.
Totally, and we're recording as we walk in, and God knows how these people feel when they've just got this microphone stuck in their face.
But we were on a mission to find this guy that Leisha told us about. Ooh,
Oh my God.
Is that him?
Oh my God. Holy Moses.
That might be. I'm playing 7. I'm playing it here.
Oh my God.
How you doing?
Hi.
Oh, no, they can go.
Can we ask you?
Well, no, they're waiting for something.
Okay. All right.
How long have you been working here?
I've been here for 3 years.
3 years. It looked like a good sign, right? 3 years.
Yes. So we end up telling him Leisha's story.
We do a podcast called Ear Hustle about life in prison, and we are doing a story about people who are incarcerated in their last memory. And then we're going to the place where that memory took place. And so this woman named Leisha, I'm just going to tell you what she told me. Okay, so her last memory was September 28th, 2022. And she came into a 7-Eleven and she had to use the bathroom. And she said there was a tall white guy with, yes.
So he had to rush off and open up the pizza thing for these kids. He was heating up some pizza.
It was obvious right away that it was not going to be easy to talk to this guy.
Yeah, he was multitasking. It's a 7-Eleven.
And we had to talk really fast. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what she said. A tall white guy with dreadlocks let her use the bathroom. And she went in there to do a pregnancy test, and she found out she was pregnant. Could that have been you?
It's entirely possible.
So, first of all, what do you think about the strangers coming in here and asking you this question?
Little put off guard, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
So,
Hey, how's it going?
I can't-
Welcome in.
Every single time someone walked into the store, this guy looked them in the eye and said, "Welcome."
And while he was doing that, we were vying for his attention. And we wanted to be really respectful because he was so super polite.
Right.
It got a little awkward.
Can you introduce who you are?
My name's Cedric. I work for 7-Eleven in Fresno, California on Palm and McKinley. So I've been working here for 3 years. I'm not familiar with the person we're talking about here,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I'll get a little bit more clarification.
She was a African-American woman. She probably was in her 20s.
Yeah.
And she went in the bathroom. She said they don't let people use the bathroom, but he let me use the bathroom. And I took a pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant.
Yeah. And then I don't think she had much more interaction with you, but she described that it was at McKinley
And something.
We went to the other 7-Eleven and the guy was like, no, we've never let anyone use the bathroom.
The other one over there, I don't think that they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome in. Maybe
Okay,
so.
here comes some
All right.
customers.
So we'll get out your way. We thought we might be stressing him out, so we went outside to wait out there until the store cleared out a bit.
Which was probably never going to happen.
7-Eleven.
Hello.
How you doing?
And right away, this woman approached us and asked us what we were doing.
What do you guys do?
We're doing a podcast.
Oh,
Faith.
okay.
And we just were,
We're actually going to a workshop at the CMAC
oh, for what?
to learn film and all that
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Oh, that's what's
Yeah, we
up.
actually went yesterday. This is the second part.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
So they're gonna record a little. We're like, one of us is gonna do the camera.
Earlonne, I have to admit that sometimes I'm a little wary when someone comes up and starts talking to us.
Yeah, but you're polite.
I try to be. But what I realize is that when you open yourself up, even just a little, you see that pretty much everyone has this whole inner, messy, complicated life swirling around them.
And you would have never guessed.
Actually, I have a big story, which is with my last marriage. He held me hostage, almost killed me, and my kids helped me escape. And now today, fast forward, I'm a CEO of my business. I opened one farmer's market, about to open 2. I got a new husband. He's an electrician, and things are better.
That's great.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Well, Earlonne,
It's
clearly, like we say, everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story. We didn't even have to ask a question. Huh?
No, but we were on a mission, so we couldn't get that diverted. And at that moment, the store seemed slightly calmer.
Tad bit. So we went back in.
And right away, you could see Cedric was in there having all those little exchanges, like literally with every person that walked in.
Like he just knew him.
Yeah, making everyone feel welcome.
Welcome in.
You are such a nice person.
Thank you.
Can I ask, what have you learned about yourself working here?
About myself, I have learned that I'm a people person. I like talking to people and learning about them and learning what people have to offer and learning, I just like learning about people.
I've never been in a store like this where everyone that comes in, you make them feel like they're welcome here.
Yeah.
It's really nice. That's unusual.
Well, I like to treat others how I'd like to be treated, right?
Yeah.
If I'm walking into a store, I'd like to be greeted. I'd like to be told, hey, how are you today?
Yeah.
It's just the simplest thing can make somebody's day.
What if people are rude to you? What do you do?
Well, I mean, people are going to be rude. That's their prerogative. I'm not going to be rude back. There's no reason to, right?
Wow. Okay. Is that how you were raised?
It's how I've come to learn to live my life.
There was some kind of zen to this guy.
Yeah. He had an aura of something, right?
Yeah, he was the 7-Eleven philosopher.
And Erlon, it seemed so clear that this was Leisha's guy. It seems like it probably was you. I mean, you fit the description, I guess, to some extent.
I feel like I have a pretty unique look about myself.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It reminds me of, there's a saying for it, a word for it, for the realization that people around you are having full, specific lives around you, and there's no way for you to know. And that's kind of what that puts me in mind of.
Yeah.
That there's no way I would have known that me letting her into the bathroom, she would have found out that she was pregnant or whatever.
It was a big deal
that's
for
crazy.
her.
It's not a word in English. I can't remember the language either, but it means the feeling of realizing that the people around you, every single person around you has a fully detailed, enveloped life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That everyone's complicated.
Yeah, everybody
interesting.
has their own complicated story.
Yeah.
I mean, I just helped somebody and let them use the restroom, but that was a life-changing point in their life, and there's no way I would have known other than this interaction here.
Yeah, so does it make you wonder about other customers that come in that you might do something for?
That's more or less what I mean, is that I probably see 100 people, 200 people a day, and they all have their own crazy lives that there's no way I'd know about,
I could have talked to this guy for a really long time. I had so many questions for him, but we had to be respectful. Mm-hmm. He was at work, and he really needed to focus on his job.
Yes.
Anything? Can you talk? You got to get to work, huh?
Yeah, I do, unfortunately.
Okay. Do you mind if we just walk around? We have to just record a little bit of just sound. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah,
I'll buy something just to say we've customers.
Yeah, we'll buy something.
All right.
Thank you, Cedric.
I'm playing the lottery.
You really gonna buy a lottery ticket?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh my God, I hope you win. So Erlon is buying lottery tickets now.
25 and 26.
Let me get 25 and 26.
Sure thing. That leaves you at 1873 for your total.
Yeah. Thank you.
Meeting you guys.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
thanks to meet you. Thanks,
All
Cedric.
right.
We got outside, and then Cedric came out again because he had one last thing he wanted to tell us.
Just wanted to give you guys a warning. The smoke gets out at
okay.
8:32.
And then we'll be
I
gone.
have no problem with you guys being here. I'm just letting you know that.
All right.
All right.
We will get up out of here.
Okay. Come on, let's have a corny high five. Come on.
High five.
Come on, that was awesome. You want to sit in front on the way home? All right, I'm just going to call Bruce on speakerphone. See what he says.
I just wanted to reach out to Bruce real quick.
Well, I was so excited. Come on. It was like calling Daddy.
It was like you had a special.
You're going to be so proud of us.
Let me get this EP up and tell them what we've done today.
Exactly.
Hello.
Hey, Bruce. It's Nigel and Amy and Erlon.
Hello, Nigel and Amy and Erlon.
Guess what? We found the guy. The 7-Eleven guy.
No shit.
Yep. He was a tall white guy with super curly hair, and he's like the type of person that would do somebody a favor.
He'd do a solid.
A solid person. He was just like a mystical person. Yeah, he said very cool things about this philosophy of realizing everyone around you has a complicated life. It was very cool.
Or has a story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who is this 7-Eleven philosopher?
Yes, exactly. Anyway, we're very excited. Obviously, we had to call and tell you.
Awesome. I'm Okay, have a good trip. That's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Have a good drive.
After the break, we head back to CIW to tell Leisha what we found.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Okay. Is she on mic good enough?
I'm monitoring right now. She's good. Say something.
Leisha. Hello.
A few weeks after our trip to 7-Eleven, we went back to the California Institution for Women to see Leisha.
Leisha gave birth to her baby daughter a year ago while she was incarcerated at CIW.
Right, and that's the pregnancy she found out about in that 7-Eleven bathroom.
Ever since then, Leisha's mom has been taking care of both that daughter and also Leisha's other 2 children. But now, that's about to change.
And when are you leaving?
October 24th.
And today is September 26th, so
Yes.
it's less than 30 days.
Less than 30 days to the gate.
Wow. We were like, we've got to get back here before you leave. I was worried. Before Leisha got out, we really wanted to tell her about our trip to Fresno and what we found there. So Erlon and Amy and I
We all went.
Yes.
to find it.
We pulled up to the 7-Eleven.
And
It
when
was
we were pulling the
clearly-
driveway, so I saw the guy who worked there, and he was like a middle-aged, maybe Middle Eastern guy. And you had described the person who worked there as tall. I think you said he was white and probably with locks of some kind. So when I saw that guy, I was like, I don't know if this looks good. She came in here and spoke to her. So we started to tell him the story, and he's like, no, I would never let anyone use the bathroom.
If she come in daytime, there's no way.
There's no way. This is not the place. And
Right.
we were
and
pretty
then
disappointed.
we was disappointed. We thought like, this ain't the spot. And then he was like, well, there's another 7-Eleven down the street.
One on Palm and McKinley.
Oh, maybe we'll try that one.
Oh.
So we was like, all right. We went down there and
We looked in the window.
Oh
my God.
Is that him?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
We
looked
saw
in-
this tall white guy.
He had curly
super
hair.
curly hair.
Like he had long curl. It was like really curly.
Yeah.
He had it in a ponytail.
Yeah, but they definitely could have been done into locks or dreads. So we went in and told him the story. And she came into a 7-Eleven and she had to use the bathroom. And she said there was a tall white guy he said it was something that could have happened.
Yeah.
Because he would do it. He said it's possible.
Yeah, he was working there at the time, the timeline you gave us.
Really?
Yes.
It probably was him.
Yes.
It probably was him.
I mean, you fit the
Yeah.
description, I guess, to
Yeah, it's
some
not,
extent.
I feel like I have a pretty unique look about myself.
And he
Then
was great to talk
When we
to.
went in there, he had a cool vibe about himself.
Yeah, that was
he's
probably
a talkative
him.
person. He talks to everybody come through the door.
Hey, how's it going?
I even asked him, you ever been robbed? He said, no.
No.
He too cool. I think we are talking about that. He's a really good spirit, good aura, good vibe. Like he was just a real cool guy. And I'm pretty sure they don't let people use the restroom over there. And I can almost guarantee you it was him.
The way you described him is exactly how he was. He had a very good aura. So his name is Cedric.
Cedric. That's nice to know his name.
And he is somebody that stands out because I'm thinking of all the convenience stores I've walked into. I would never remember most
Right.
people that work in a convenience store.
No, he's super cool.
Yeah.
No, he definitely was super cool.
Yeah.
He was very easy to talk to about
Yes.
it. He told us about this philosophy that he has.
Every single person around you has a fully detailed life.
And it's when you look at somebody and you realize that everybody has a complicated life and things going on, and that he said that that's what it reminded him of. That he realizes there's always all these people around him, and that if you stop and just like focus for a minute,
Hold on to that second.
yeah, you realize that they've got this whole world there orbiting around just like you are.
That's deep.
It was.
I love that. You know what? I'm definitely going back to that story with my daughter and be like, this is her. He was such a good-hearted. He probably wasn't supposed to let me use the restroom, but he did because he knew that I was going through something that I needed to, I needed to figure out,
But then tell her what you did.
So, I had told the team, I'm like, yeah, if we go find this dude, I'm playing the lottery.
Oh.
I won $200 million.
Just stop it.
Oh, yeah. I won like $15.
But still,
it was something.
Yes.
I was hoping for a couple of 100,000.
Would have been great.
Yes.
I guess this would have been a natural place to end the story, Earlonne. I mean, Leisha's about to get released and reunited with her kids. So she's sort of closing this chapter of her life and moving on to the next one.
But becoming a parent again after being away, it's not that simple.
Mm-mm.
Just knowing that I've been away from them for so long, it has set a seed in my mind. Like, am I worthy enough to be a mom? Am I worthy enough to raise these kids? Am I capable of this? But I just don't want to be rejected by them because I love them so much. I love them so much.
And in this time that you be in your cell, you haven't had this conversation. You ain't acted it out, played it out.
No, but now that you're saying that, I think I am going to talk to my bunkie about it tonight and kind of like role play a little bit about it.
Well, while we're here, do you want to try any of it on us?
Sure. Okay. So,
Mama, you left us.
So Mom did not leave by choice. I left because I made very bad decisions in my life. I left because I needed to fix who I was. If I would not have fixed who I was, I would not have been able to be the parent that you need me to be. I would never choose to be away from my children, ever. But sometimes you need time to look at yourself in the mirror and face the person that's there. Ugly, good, bad, or in between. You have to know who you rocking with. And if that person is ugly, it may be something that needs to be fixed. And I definitely had to fix some ugly in me before I could be who I need to be for my family. I'm gonna make better decisions, and I'm gonna stay on the right path.
So what were you in jail for?
I don't think those crimes are necessary to, depict right now. Maybe when you get a little bit older, we can dissect them. But as far as right now, just know that I was doing a lot of things that I should not have been doing. I definitely was committing crimes, and I got caught for them.
So if you don't want me to follow your footsteps, why are you not telling me what you were doing?
Because I don't feel it's appropriate at your age to know what I was doing. I don't want you to look at me any different than what you look at me now because of the things that I was doing. And you don't have to be subjected to those things. So we are going to stay focused on school, and you should be working soon, just like I'm going to be working, and I'm going to be going to school. And those are the footsteps that I want you to follow me in.
I don't believe that shit. I don't believe you.
Just believe me. Trust what I say, and know that when you become a little bit older, I can explain it to you a lot better.
I don't believe you're not going to leave us again.
Oh, I won't. You just watch. I will never leave you again, because that just tore me apart, being away from you and your brother and your sister. And being a parent is what I want to be in life. I want to be your mother, and moving forward, my actions will speak louder than my words. And no more cussing.
Hi, this is Karen Honeycutt, and I was released from prison on April 17th, 2024. I'm on my lunch break at work and enjoying my life. Ear Hustle is produced by Nigel Poor, Earlonne Woods, Amy Standen, Bruce Wallace, Rasan, New York Thomas, and Kat Shuknick. Shubnam Sigmund is the managing producer. The producing team inside St. Quentin includes Darrell Sadiq Davis, Tony de Trinidad, and Tom Wynn. The inside managing producer is Tony Tafoya. Also thanks to Aristeo San Pablo. Thanks to acting Warden Andes and Lieutenant Barry at St. Quentin, and and Acting Warden Parker at the California Institution for Women for their support of the show. Thanks also to this guy here.
I'm Lieutenant William Newborg, Public Information Officer here at CIW, and I approve this episode from CIW's Podcast Central with Ear Hustle.
This episode was made possible by the Just Trust, building a smaller, more humane engine of justice and safety across the country.
Earlonne Woods sound designs and engineers the show, with help from Fernando Arruda, Harry Colhane, Jarrell Sadiq Davis, and Bruce Wallace.
Music for this episode comes from David Jossie, Antoine Williams, and me.
We want to thank our friends at the Poetic Justice Creative Writing Program for introducing us to Leisha.
You can find Ear Hustle on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Ear Hustle SQ.
And if you're not already, follow and review Ear Hustle on any of your favorite podcast apps, like Apple Podcast, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah, because you know how y'all listen to the episode? We read the comments.
We do.
really, really read this.
We actually do.
So please, give us a review.
Ear Hustle is a proud member of Radiotopia from PRX, a network of independent, creator-owned, listener-supported podcasts.
Discover audio with vision at radiotopia.fm.
I'm Nigel Poor.
I'm Earlonne Woods. Thanks for listening.
And I remember thinking like that they were going to, do a pee test on me, a urine test, and they were going to see that I was pregnant. So I got fake urine from a smoke shop. So
Is that something most people know? You can get pee at a smoke shop?
I hope so.
Radiotopia.